Hello, everyone. It is time to wrap up my month of July. So I have my trusty handy dandy journal here. So I will first tell you a little bit about how my July went. It was a pretty good month. It was better than the previous ones. It was a little bit of a stressful month for me, so I didn't get as much reading done as I would have liked. But I still did read 7 books in July. I read 2,764 pages. So I was a little bit below my goal of 3,000 pages a month. I'll have the stats up here on the screen so you can see them. I did DNF 1 book. My average rating for the month was 4.3, so it was pretty good. I did, one of them was a reread, and I read 4 new authors. So type of books, 5 of them were novels. 1 was a book of short stories and 1 was a manga. I owned 3 of them and did 4 from the library. So I'm still keeping in that 50-50, 60-40 range. I read 6 series books, but 5 of them were new series. So once again, I am starting a bunch of new series or starting rereads of a bunch of new series. Hi, Yoongi. Come here, you guys. Come here. Come here. Come here, boys. You guys are so crazy. These guys are just nuts lately. They've been getting bigger, as you can see, and they've been getting nutser too as they've gotten bigger. It's hard to keep them still long enough to be in a video anymore. See, you're squirmy. Go bug your brother. Okay, so, and they're shaking all my stuff. Okay, stop shaking that. For my genres, my top genres were mystery and fantasy. I read 3 mysteries and 2 fantasies. And then I had 1 sci-fi and 1 healing fiction. The age range, 6 were adults, and I did read 1 young adult. That was the manga. And 6 were physical, and 1 was an audiobook that I finished. It was the first one this year that has been exclusively audiobook that I've listened to. So that's kind of the stats, and you can see everything up here on the screen, including what my favorites were. So let's go ahead and talk about the actual books that I read. Now, last month I did them alphabetically from A to Z. So I wonder if this month I should be mean to myself and go alphabetically in reverse. Okay, let's try it. First of all, I'll just quickly tell you about the book that I DNF'd. It was called The Wrong Dead Guy by Richard Kadrey. I ended up reading about 64 pages of the 420 pages. It was sci-fi humor. I'm not going to say too much about it because it was for... Would you guys stop shaking everything? Get out of there. Go wrestle over there. I'm not going to say too much about it because it was for another vlog, but definitely the humor didn't work for me, which is the main reason I DNF'd. So let's see. The one that is the lowest in the alphabet, which actually happened to be my favorite book of the month, and that is Welcome to the Hainam Dong Bookshop by Hwang-Bo Room. So this was a Korean translation. I really enjoyed this one. It is one of those Korean healing fiction ones, and I'm finding that genre is just really hitting me right lately. And I really enjoyed this one. I know I'm going to definitely want to reread it, so I am going to buy it myself. The ideas in it, I felt like a lot of them kind of applied to where I'm at in my life. And for me, I'm finding that my favorite ones of these healing fiction ones are when they do give me advice for things in my own life. And that's why I loved What You Were Looking For Is in the Library last year. And then this one really got me, this Welcome to the Hainam Dong Bookshop. So in this one, you're following this young woman who has basically left her old life. She was married, she divorced, and then decided to open this bookshop. And you're following her story as she is running the bookshop, as she's learning what it takes to run a bookshop and gathering people to her. She has a barista, a young man who is struggling with loneliness and with figuring out his purpose in life. And there's a woman who comes in almost every day and sits at the tables and knits. And then there's an author, she starts doing author readings and stuff. And there's this author that comes in and starts helping her. And overall, I just really enjoyed all the characters and their journeys. And I liked the topics that she was bringing up about dealing with things in your life and dealing with accepting yourself as you are instead of as who you used to be or who you think you should be. Yoongi, can you stop that, please? Brat. So I really enjoyed that about the book. Stop it. Get out of there. Yoink. Okay, I got the troublemaker. Yeah, so I really enjoyed all the stuff, their journeys and their path and how their lives changed. I know some people have, this one has been making the rounds on BookTube, and some people have commented about the more episodic nature of it. And I can see that in some ways, but for me, it just really worked. I enjoyed the shortness of the chapters and how each one kind of told a little part of the story and then moved on to the next and everything. So I really, really enjoyed that one. Next up alphabetically would be The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. So The Two Towers, I didn't mark in what I gave that one. I'm pretty sure it was 5 stars. I'll mark that in. Okay, so I finished The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. This was the one that I was listening to exclusively on audiobook. Now, I had decided to listen to the audiobooks narrated by Andy Serkis. He was the guy who played Gollum on the Lord of the Rings movies, and they are excellent. His reading of them is so good. He does all the voices and everything, and I absolutely love his reading of them. The Two Towers, I ended up giving it 5 stars. It is actually my favorite of the Lord of the Rings. I think it's largely because I really enjoy the Horse Lords, the Rohan people. Hi, Moki. The guys from Rohan. I just really enjoy that culture. It's very Viking inspired. And then the thing I like a lot about the second book is that you're dealing with a very human element of everything. Because you're dealing with the fight for Rohan, and then you're dealing with the beginnings of getting to know the people from Gondor and everything. And so I find that the very human element of it makes me like The Two Towers as one of my favorites. So that's definitely was a good one, and that was another 5 star. The bottom half of the alphabet is winning on the 5 stars so far. Then, let's see. Okay, then next up in the alphabet would be Peril at the Exposition by Nev March. This is a mystery, and I'm not going to say a whole lot about this one because it is for another vlog that will be coming out soon, hopefully this month, where I did a library crawl with my sisters and my mom, and we took out books from different libraries, and this was one of them. Here it is. And so I'm not going to say a whole lot about it, but I did give it 4 stars, and you're following this. It takes place in the 1893, and you're following newlyweds Jim Agnihotri and Diana Framji. They have come from British Bombay, and they are settling in Boston, and it is the time of the Chicago exhibition. Why are you eating stuff there, Moki? It's the time of the Chicago exhibition, and her husband Jim. Most of it is told from Diana's point of view. Her husband Jim is investigator, and he was an investigator in Bombay as well. In the first book, this is the second book in a series. I haven't read the first book, but I am going to try and continue the series. So. But he gets called in to investigate the murder of a man at the preparations for the exhibition in Chicago, and then he goes missing. So she decides to go to Chicago. She's a very strong, independent female character, which I like, and she decides to go to Chicago and look for him. And so that's kind of the general premise of it. I'm not going to tell you a whole lot about it because, like I say, it's for that other vlog. I'll tell you more about my thoughts in that one. But I did give this one 4 stars. Next up alphabetically. would be The Lottery Winner by Mary Higgins Clark. So this one, you hopefully will have seen my Battle of the Book Jar vlog already, where I talked about this one. This is from my Battle of the Book Jar, where I pull books out of my big Snidely the Book Jar and have to read them or unhaul them. And this one it's a collection of short stories about a character of hers called Elvira. And Elvira wins the lottery. She and her husband, Willie, they win the lottery and it changes their life. And there's one novel that they're main characters in. And then she wrote this as a follow-up to it with a bunch of short stories. I'm not going to tell you a whole lot about it, again, because it is in that other vlog. But I did give it 3.5 stars. It's a very cozy read with cute characters. It's a short story collection. Of course, being a short story, cozy, there's a lot of unbelievable elements, but it still was a fun read. So that one got 3.5 from me. Next up alphabetically would be the manga that I read. If I can find it here. Oh, I'm using it underneath you guys. Just a sec. I'll put a different book under there now. There. I'm a little higher than I was before, I think. I read How to Treat Magical Beasts, Mine and Master's Journal by Kazuya. This is a young adult manga. I did read this one for the library vlog as well. So again, I'm not going to say much about it because that vlog will be coming out in August. And I did give this one, what did I give this one? 3.5 stars. And all I'll say about it right now is that it's a very cute little story. I don't know if I'm going to continue the series because I'm not a huge manga reader, but it was cute enough that if I happen to have the chance and got a prompt for manga or something, I may consider continuing that one. Then you will have seen this one as well in the Battle of the Book Jar vlog. This was Fear Nothing by Dean Koontz. This is the first book in his duology about Moonlight Bay. So you will have heard a lot about this one in that vlog that will have just come out recently here. But you're following Christopher Snow, who is different from all the other residents of Moonlight Bay. He has a genetic condition that means that he cannot be exposed to sunlight or even bright UV lights from inside a house. So he basically has to embrace the darkness, and that's where he lives. And so you're following his story when his father is in the hospital and his father dies of apparently cancer. But as he goes he forgets that he had something that he needed to give the undertaker to be cremated with his father. It was a picture of his mother. And so he goes down to where the garage underneath the hospital, and he happens to come across the undertaker and another couple of guys, and they are swapping his father's body for that of a dead hitchhiker for some reason. And that starts his crazy night of trying to figure out what is going on. It's definitely got a lot of sci-fi elements to it. And I enjoyed the character a lot. You will have seen my detailed thoughts on it in the other vlogs. So I'm not going to give too many here, but I did give it 4 stars. The story kept me on the edge of my seat and definitely did surprise me. And I'm looking forward to reading the second one in that duology. And then I believe the final one to mention, yes, is, there it is. I read for Summerween, I read The Cold Dish by Craig Johnson. This is the first in his Longmire series. This was my reread. Now I have read probably 7 or 8 of the books in this series, but I decided I wanted to start again at the beginning because I want to go through the whole series. And it is a mystery. You're following Walt Longmire, who is a sheriff in Absaroka County in Wyoming. He is getting close to retirement and just kind of working his way through to retirement. His wife passed away a couple years before, and he's kind of been in limbo since then. And in this one, he ends up, they discover the dead body of a young man who's been shot. And they're trying to figure out what happened to him. And it turns out that he was one of these 4 boys who were responsible for a rape of a young Native girl. The previous year, and they had gotten off with conditional sentences. So there's a lot of bad blood in the community. So that kind of sets off the story. And so Walt is looking into it. He has the help of his deputy, Vic Moretti, who's a young woman from Philadelphia who has moved there and is quite the character. I really enjoy her. And his friend Henry Standing Bear, who is Cheyenne from the reserve, and he runs a local bar called the Red Pony, and he has been Walt's friend since they were kids, and they went and fought in Vietnam together and everything. And he is one of my all-time favorite characters of any genre, anywhere. I love Henry. And so every time I get back into this series, I just fall back in love with Henry again. So that kind of makes this series for me. He's just such a cool character, such a neat guy. So anyways, that was that one. I did give this one 5 stars again on the second read through, which is what I had given it the first time. And I really enjoyed that one. So that is how my month of reading went. And let me know if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts were on them. Do you have a favorite character of all time that transcends genre like I do with Henry? And I will see you guys soon on my next video. And give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.